Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. If the system collapses, gold will be needed to start over. This is coming from a central bank. Should we be surprised? Yes, indeed. This is an article that is over on Zero Hedge, and Tyler Durden is the author, and was sent to me by Chuck and Plata. And this is quite fascinating, but really, is it that fascinating? Because when you think about it, why are central banks around the world stockpiling gold? Well, I think this is just a clear indication as to why they're just publishing it. This is the Dutch Central Bank has made mention that if the system collapses, the gold stock can serve as a basis to build it up again. And that's exactly right. That's something that is, by the way, not a risky thing at all, in my view, for a central bank to say. Because central banks around the world accumulate gold. In fact, the central bank of central banks in Basel, the Bank of International Settlements, they have now regarded and basically made gold a tier 1 asset. They've elevated it to that level, which means that it is the most stable of money out there. So central bankers know, and they're just now articulating here, in this case, the Dutch Central Bank. But my guess is if you ask every central bank, especially those in China, Russia, and India, they will say exactly the same thing, which is why they're accumulating gold. So Tyler Durden talks about here, it's not just tinfoil blogs who for the past 11 years have been warning that a monetary reset is inevitable, and the only viable fallback option once trust and faith in fiat is lost is a gold standard, something which even Mark Carney hinted at recently. Central banks are joining the doom parade now, but it's not really a doom parade. It's just logical sense. And really, when you think about it, central banks are being as transparent as can be. And it's not even necessarily means that anything has changed. But I think it's quite fascinating. I think it's good news. I think it's great that the Dutch Central Bank is mentioning this. But I will note one thing here in this article, which I think is interesting. Once trust and faith in fiat is lost. That's an important statement. And this is something I want to communicate and articulate to the viewers out there, is that there is trust and there is faith in fiat. I know that flies in the face of what most of us here in this community believe about the dollar and other currencies out there, but hey, we use them every single day. It's what we use to pay our bills. We have trust and we have faith that when we take these Federal Reserve notes or digitized versions thereof, we can indeed pay our bills, buy food, and most importantly here, we can accumulate gold and silver with it, which is great. So faith in fiat is not lost yet. Now, it is not based off of a foundation that we will like it to be, and that is gold and silver. And I think that this reason why this is newsworthy is that the Dutch Central Bank is articulating as such that gold is the ultimate form of wealth, and it will serve as a basis to build it up again. And not only that, it doesn't even necessarily have to collapse for that to be the case. I believe that there will be a dollar reset in due course where potentially gold can play a role as part of a rules-based monetary system. And I think that is probably likely to happen before there is a collapse of any sort. And nonetheless, here they showing a tweet from this particular person from the Dutch Central Bank here. While gloomy predictions of a monetary reset are hardly new, they have traditionally been relegated to the fringe of mainstream financial thought. After all, as Mario Draghi stated in several occasions in recent years, the mere contemplation of a doomsday scenario is enough to create the self-fulfilling prophecy which materializes it. As such, it is stunning to see a mainstream financial institution open up about the superior value of limited supply non-fiat sound money assets. Well, it's not stunning at all, in my view. To me, it's just an articulation of what they are already doing. These central banks around the world are accumulating gold. Heck, the United States has the most of them all, and Western cultures seem to shy away from gold and silver as being money, especially sound money. But in Fort Knox, we hold the largest amount of gold in the world. Now, obviously, that's another point of controversy because some people don't believe it's actually there because of audits or lack thereof. But that's another story. It is also hypocritical given the diametrically opposed Keynesian practices regularly engaged by central banks and official institutions worldwide. Now, that is very true, especially when we're talking about the Federal Reserve and what these nations are doing. But, the Keynesian practices essentially are done by the bankers and the governments, with the government's approval and prompting, by the way, especially here in the United States. After all, just a few months back, the IMF published a paper bashing Germany's adoption of the gold standards in the 1870s as a catalyst for instability in the global monetary system. Well, make no mistake, central banks around the world and the Federal Reserve Board, they know it. And make no mistake, Ben Bernanke knew it, so did Janet Yellen. They know the gold is there. Well, and again, that's another controversial topic, but I digress. But make no mistake, they want to have as much power as they can for as long as they can, utilizing these Keynesian practices to print money like it's going out of style and to engage in, basically a free-for-all with the currencies. Fast forward to today, when the Dutch central bank is admitting not only did gold not destabilize the monetary system, but it will be its only savior when everything crashes. That's right. And then he's referencing another article here. He says a bar of gold retains its value even in times of crisis. This makes the opposite of shares, bonds, and other securities, all of which have inherent risk, and the prices go down. And there we go. Boy, we're getting a lot of scammer calls. It's like the fourth call. Let me see if I can take it here. Hello?
Yes, good morning. Mark?
Good morning. How you doing? Yes, this is...
How's everything?
My name is Phil, and I'm calling about the business loan. You're calling me about it. I want to be able to get in good with the Dutch Central Bank, potentially, and interview them, and I need money to do that, to fly over there to interview them about their latest statement about gold. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea, but are you gonna need money for that, or do you want a company to provide you money for that, or you're gonna get it,
Yeah, I'm gonna need money for that. I don't know what the other alternative is, but let's go with the first thing. In other words, I need to book a flight to interview the Central Bank of the Netherlands to find out about what they mean. Is the system gonna collapse? Will gold be the savior for sure? Is this unusual for a central bank to do? What do you think?
I have no idea, man.
Take a wild guess. Oh, he hung up on me. No, he didn't want to play along like the other scammers did. So according to the IMF's latest data, the Dutch National Bank holds 615 tons, and there's a picture of it, by the way. That's pretty cool to see their gold. I wish that we could see as freely the gold here in the United States. So that's 15,000 bars of gold, mainly in Amsterdam, with other stores in the UK and North America. The value of this gold reserve is over $6.62 billion. Calling gold the trust anchor, the article details briefly why the hard asset is so important to wealth building and the global economy. Claiming gold is a trust anchor for the financial system. If the whole system collapses, the gold stock provides a collateral to start over. Gold gives confidence in the power of the central bank's balance sheet. While the sudden admission of what gold bugs have been saying for years, why this sudden admission for what gold bugs is saying for years? Perhaps it has to do with the fact that on October 7th, the bank announced it would soon be moving a large part of its gold reserves to the new DNB Cash Center at military premises in Zeist. All right, very good. Yeah, so they're making a move with it, and they want to have the gold close to home, because you know the saying, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Almost as if the Netherlands is preparing for a great grand reset and is moving its most valuable asset to a military installation just for that purpose. Well, it only makes sense. I believe in repatriation of gold in storage for the countries that own it. I believe that's the best thing and the best practices possible, especially for nations like the Netherlands. But I don't know that necessarily you can make that tie. I know other nations have wanted to do this for quite a while in recent past, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's leaning towards a reset of any sort. As Bitcoin.com, tongue-in-cheek points out, the Dutch National Bank is no stranger to playing along with the Keynesian inflationary games of the global monetary system. A system which, according to some, is now more a Ponzi scheme based off force and blind faith than sound economic principles. That notwithstanding, the centralized financial powers of the world know the real score, and that's why hard assets like gold are hoarded and locked down, while everyday individual residents of these geopolitical jurisdictions are encouraged to spend and spend, going further into debt as to prop up ultimately unsound national economies. You know, and I think this basically sums it all up. What these central banks are doing, we should be doing. We should become our own central banks. And I've actually made a purchase of another ounce of gold, which I will unbox soon. And with every ounce or even tenth of an ounce of gold, I think you are further protecting yourself from economic instability. Silver is great too, but gold is really the ultimate hedge, and I encourage everyone, including silver stackers out there, to diversify into some gold to preserve your wealth. It's small, easy to store. It packs a lot of punch of value in a small package. It's dense. It's beautiful. Does not tarnish. It is an astounding metal. So the Dutch National Bank, they're accumulating gold, and they are wanting to repatriate it. They're going to guard it heavily too. Guard your gold too. Be your own central bank. And tell me, does this really surprise you that they would make such a statement as this? To me, not really. But on the other hand, I think it's great that they did, because if you look at their actions speak louder than their words. The words are just literally articulating their actions. Post your thoughts below. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe. And